Hey there, my friend. I know you're probably feeling frustrated after yet another tough loss. A 27-20 defeat to the Bengals, it stings, doesn't it? And that late special teams blunder, it's the kind of mistake that leaves you shaking your head. But let's talk about what's really on everyone's mind, the quarterback situation. Cooper Rush, he's been filling in for Dak Prescott, and while he's had his moments, his performance against Cincinnati wasn't exactly inspiring, completing 16 of 31 passes for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That's serviceable, sure, but not the spark we need with a 5-8 record. And let's be honest, with the playoffs looking like a distant dream, doesn't it feel like now is the time to try something different? Yet, here we are, Trey Lance, the player some of us hope might bring a fresh dynamic to the team, remains on the sidelines. Why? Why not give him a chance? It's a question that's dividing fans, and I'd love to hear what you think. Take a moment to share your opinion in the comments. Should Trey Lance get a shot as the starting quarterback, or do you think the team is right to stick with Cooper Rush? Before we dive deeper into what Jerry Jones had to say about all this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Your support helps us bring you content like this and work toward our goal of 12,000 subscribers. Let's keep this conversation going. Alright, so let's dive into what Jerry Jones had to say, because his opinion carries a lot of weight in how this team moves forward. After the loss, Jones made it clear Cooper Rush is still the guy for now. He believes Rush gives the Cowboys their best shot to win games, and for him, that's what matters most. But here's where things get frustrating. Jones also emphasized the importance of gaining experience for the younger players on the roster. If that's true, why not include Trey Lance in that mix? Isn't this the perfect opportunity to see what Lance can do under pressure? It feels like Jones is playing it safe, and let's be honest, playing it safe hasn't exactly been a winning strategy for the Cowboys lately. Here's a direct quote from Jones. It's very important to go down and beat Carolina for this team next year. We've got a lot of young players out here that we wanted to get that experience. Did you catch that? He's already talking about next year. With the playoffs practically out of reach, why not focus on giving Lance a chance to gain that experience now? What do you think? Is Jerry right to keep betting on Cooper Rush, or should he take a chance on Lance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's turn this into a real discussion. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Join our community, hit that subscribe button, enable notifications so you don't miss any updates. We're building something special here, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. Next, we'll tackle the trade that brought Trey Lance to Dallas, and whether it was the right move. Stay with me. Let's rewind a bit to when the Cowboys traded for Trey Lance back in August 2023. Remember how surprising that move was? A 4th-round pick sent to the 49ers for the former 3 overall pick. At the time, it felt like a bold, strategic gamble. But here we are, months later, and the question remains, was it worth it? Stephen Jones, the Cowboys' executive vice president, doesn't regret the trade. In fact, he said, "We'd do that again." He talked about how Lance was a top-tier prospect on their radar and how they wanted to evaluate a young talent like him. But let's be real, how can you evaluate someone who barely gets to play? Think about it. Lance has attempted just 6 passes in a Cowboys uniform. 6. What kind of assessment can you make from that? Sure, Dak Prescott's long-term contract complicates things, but if Lance was worth the trade, isn't it time to see if he can live up to the hype? Or did the Cowboys bring him in just to sit on the bench and watch? Let's settle this debate together. Do you think trading for Trey Lance was a smart move, or was it a wasted pick? Share your vote in the comments. Also, if you're enjoying this discussion, make sure to subscribe and help us hit our goal of 12,000 subscribers. Your support makes it possible for us to keep delivering content like this, straight to fans like you. Up next, we'll dive into Lance's contract situation and what the future might hold for him. Stick around, you won't want to miss it. Now, let's talk about Trey Lance's future, or, to be honest, the lack of clarity around it. The Cowboys declined his 5th-year option, which means Lance is in the final year of his rookie contract. Once the season ends, he's headed into free agency with only 4 NFL starts under his belt. Let that sink in for a moment. The potential that got him drafted as the 3 overall pick in 2021. It's still there, but potential alone doesn't pay the bills in the NFL. Teams need to see results. With such limited action in Dallas, just 6 passes thrown, what kind of market will Lance find? Will any team take a chance on him? It's frustrating, isn't it? The Cowboys had a golden opportunity to give him meaningful reps this season. With the playoffs slipping further out of reach, wouldn't it have made sense to let Lance prove himself? Instead, they seem content to let his contract run out without ever truly seeing what he's capable of. So, here's a question for you. If you were in Trey Lance's shoes, what would you do? Would you stick it out in Dallas, hoping for a real shot? Or would you look for a fresh start elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to see what you think. Before we move on, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. Your support helps us keep the Cowboys conversations going. Up next, we'll explore Dez Bryant's bold statement about Lance and what it means for the growing fan frustration. Stay tuned. Now let's bring in a voice that every Cowboys fan respects, Dez Bryant. When Dez speaks, people listen, and recently, he didn't hold back. He took to social media to say what many of us have been thinking: Trey Lance deserves a shot. That's a big statement coming from someone like Dez. He's seen it all with this franchise, the highs, the lows, and the frustrations in between. His words echo the sentiment of many fans who feel that the Cowboys are being too cautious, sticking to what's comfortable instead of taking a chance on something or someone new. But, of course, not everyone agrees. Critics point to Lance's uneven preseason performance as a reason to keep him sidelined. Sure, the stats weren't perfect: 660 to passing yards, to touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, but isn't preseason about finding rhythm and ironing out mistakes? How can we judge a player's potential when the opportunities are so limited? So, here's where I turn it over to you. Do you agree with Dez Bryant? Does Trey Lance deserve a chance to prove himself? Or do you think the Cowboys are making the right call by keeping him as an afterthought? Vote in the comments and let your voice be heard. And hey, if you haven't joined our growing Cowboys community yet, now's the time. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're working toward our goal of 12,000 subscribers, and your support makes all the difference. Coming up in the final chapter, we'll discuss what all this uncertainty means for the future of the Cowboys quarterback position and how it reflects the state of the franchise. Don't go anywhere, we're just getting to the heart of it. Alright, my friend, let's bring it all together. The uncertainty surrounding Trey Lance is more than just a quarterback dilemma, it's a reflection of where the Cowboys are as a franchise. A team once built on bold moves and championship aspirations now seems stuck in a cycle of hesitation and what-ifs. Think about it. The trade for Lance was bold, yes, but what's the point of a bold move if you don't follow through? It's as if the Cowboys are afraid of taking the leap. Cooper Rush might be the safe option, but to safe win championships. And with Dak Prescott locked in long-term, where does Lance even fit into the Cowboys' vision? The most frustrating part, the missed opportunities. This season was a chance to experiment, to see if Trey Lance could be the dynamic player we hoped he'd be. Instead, it feels like the Cowboys are treading water, trying to balance development, immediate results, and fan expectations without committing to any of them. So, where does that leave us? If the Cowboys continue down this path, they risk not only wasting Lance's potential, but also alienating a fan base that's desperate for something to believe in. This is bigger than one player, it's about the culture of the team and the decisions that will define its future. What do you think? Should the Cowboys have taken more risks this season, or is this cautious approach the right way to go? Share your thoughts below, and let's talk about the future of this team we all love. And before we wrap up, if you've enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We got plenty more Cowboys content coming your way, and your support helps us keep these conversations alive. Thanks for sticking with me. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments, and as always, go Cowboys!